And over here is the mausoleum of one Joseph Lothian Hudson, better known as J.L. Hudson. J.L. Hudson, he was born on October 17th of 1846 and died on July 5th of 1912. He was a department store magnate owning the J.L. Hudson department store in downtown Detroit, which also had a chain of department stores as time went on throughout the United States. J.L. Hudson came to Detroit in 1877 and opened a men's clothing store. The department store chain eventually became the third largest in America, behind Macy's of New York and Marshall Field's of Chicago. The J.L. Hudson store was eventually bought out by the J.L. Hudson store's department chain was eventually bought out by Marshall Field's, which was later bought out by Macy's of New York. As mentioned, Hudson's was the third largest department store in America. So there he is, and there he goes. Alright, and over here we're coming up to the gravesite of Edgar Guest and his family. Edgar Guest was born in 1881 and died in 1959. Was known as the People's Poet. In 1895, he was hired by the Detroit Free Press as an office boy. Later on employed with the Free Press for nearly 60 years. Goes on to say that one of his classic verses was, "It takes a heap o' living in a house to make it a home." Whatever that's supposed to mean. Anyway, this is a gravesite in Woodlawn Cemetery. So I just thought I'd stop by for a minute. So take a walk over here for a second. It appears that several of looks like his son's buried right there, and his grandson's right there. His grandson appeared to have died in 2000. I have no idea who this is right there. I think it's one of the relatives. But anyways, there they are. Alright, and here we are over in Woodlawn Cemetery. I forgot what section we're in, but we're coming up to the gravesite of, or the mausoleum rather, of one Fred Wardell, born in 1866 and died in 1952. He founded Eureka Vacuum Company. Let's see here. In 1915, Eureka was awarded a grand prize by a jury of electrical experts at the Panama Pacific International Exposition in San Francisco for their electrical knowledge or technology or something like that. Let's see here. By 1927, Eureka was selling 1/3 of all vacuum cleaners produced in the United States. That's pretty much all the information I have on Fred Wardell. So we're going to take a walk up here for a minute here. Take a look here. As you can see, it's you can get a very good clear shot in there, and there's right there is front cars. Right there is an up close view of the tomb inside the mausoleum there. So that's pretty much it. And over here in section 12, we are coming up to the gravesite monument of Allen Howard Frazier and John Palmer Frazier. Allen Howard Frazier was born in 1859 and died in 1921. He was one of Detroit's most prominent citizens during the early part of the 21st century. Actually, it says here he was one of the more prominent citizens for more than a quarter of a century. He served 4 consecutive terms as prosecuting attorney in the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office, serving between 1892 and 1913, during which of the time he fought election fraud and favoritism and corruption in the prosecuting attorney's office in Wayne County. So here's his gravesite, and right over here is his brother, John Palmer Fraser, who was born in 1882 and died in 1972, it appears. John Palmer Fraser, for some reason, had a lot of business dealings, a lot of properties and real estate ventures with the son of James Cousins. I believe that is what his name was. Anyways, they had a lot of residential and real estate type business dealings here in Detroit and probably the surrounding area, I would imagine. But anyways, here is their monument. It's a really interesting monument, to say the least. You know, it's really artistically designed. And here comes someone driving by right now. And the cool thing about this monument is that it's directly across from the Dodge Monument and the Hudson Monument, which is over that way a little ways. Not the one to the right, but it's a little bit further down. So this pretty much concludes my Woodlawn excursion today. I was here about 4 hours, friggin' running around the cemetery back and forth. I had a pretty good time though. So, and that's pretty much it for today. Alright, we're done.